One of my favorite things about wearing toppers is that I only have to get my bio hair done every 5 or 6 months, which is wonderful. However, it makes blending my grown out bio hair with the topper difficult at times because my topper is so light blonde. I'm Karina and I'm going to show you today how to blend your human hair or a synthetic topper with your grown out bio hair highlights. So this is the topper that I wear on a regular basis. As you can tell, she, one, needs a wash, but two, she is very, very blonde. All the way to the root, there's very little to no rooting on this topper, and my bio hair is pretty grown out. So what I'm gonna show you is a temporary solution that will actually wash out of your topper. So if you don't love it, one, it's not a permanent solution, and two, when you get your bio hair highlighted again, you can just simply wash your topper and it'll match your bio hair. To help create that rooted look, I'm going to use SureThick Hairline Powder. It's a newer product by SureThick. I had the opportunity of trying it a few months ago and I was actually really pleased with it. So I'm going to use this just on the top part of my topper to give it a little bit of a rooted look. Now these come with multiple different tools that you can use, but I'm just using this basic tool because I think this is best for dabbing it on. But there's also more refined kind of tools that you can use that come with the SureThick powder. It's totally up to you. This same look could be achieved with an eyeshadow. However, I like to use stuff that's specific for hair and will wash out easily. So this is kind of where I like to start. So as you can see, I'm just dabbing it along the root, all the way along the part line on both sides. And I'm actually going to leave just this section right here for you to see what it looks like without the root. I'm starting at the base and kind of working my way up. So the darkest part is going to be right there closest to the part line. You can already see the difference that it's making and that nice shadowed kind of root that it's giving it. Now don't forget to do those front pieces. I like to kind of pull back the hair a little bit so you can really get it on those front pieces, because those are the pieces that are going to make the biggest difference when you're blending your bio hair. And I might even run it all the way down a few of these strands. Now, I'm not going to add any more color to it, but now I'm just going to take it and kind of brush it down along the top so it blends it out a little bit and it's not such a harsh line. Okay, so I only did the first layer. I will do another layer and I will show you that, but here's just like a close-up look of what that looks like. And already it's such a big difference. I'm going to show you what it looks like on, because I think that's where you truly see the biggest difference. I'm going to get nice and close to the camera so you can see what a difference that root makes. Yeah, already it's such a big difference, and I think it gives the whole topper a more natural look. And of course, once you have it on your head, you're going to see little things that you want to adjust, and so you can just add a little bit more of that root powder as you see fit. So it blends nicely. Ah, I love it. I think it looks so much better. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the same thing that I did right up here, right along that front part. And I'm going to actually take that all the way down because, again, my bio hair is much darker right in through here. So I'm going to pull back the hair and I'm going to add that root all the way down. And again, the nice thing about this powder is it is washable. So if at any point you do this to your topper or your wig and you're like, I don't like it, I did too much, or it's too heavy-handed, or you just don't like the look of it, you can easily wash it right out and it doesn't compromise your topper at all. This is designed to wash out. And of course that means that you will also have to reapply it from time to time to make sure that it maintains that look, if it's kind of a more permanent look you want to go for. Another nice thing about this is if you're thinking about adding a root to your topper, this kind of gives you an idea of what it's going to look like before you actually make the commitment to adding the full permanent root. See what a difference it makes when I tuck my hair on one side versus the other. I am really loving the way that this turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this and I'll show you the final topper with it all finished. Now, something to know, I did add that powder all the way up to the part line, so you probably are going to want to go through and add a little bit of foundation powder right along that part line to help brighten it back up, because we added that darker root, and some of that hairline powder will have gotten on the mono top or the silk top, whatever kind of top to your topper you have. Some of that powder will probably have gotten on that part line. So you're going to want to go through and clean it up with either a brush or a little bit of foundation powder. I like to use a little bit of foundation powder. It works quickly, easily, and gives my topper a little bit more of a natural part line. I'm going to quickly show you how I would add a little bit of foundation powder to this topper. I just kind of take it along that part line and dab it on. You don't want to get it too much onto the freshly powdered hair itself, so you can just use the little spoolie side to kind of blend it out. Again, just dab it and gently blend it using the spoolie side. Pretty easy, doesn't take too much effort or knowledge to be able to brighten up that part line a little bit. You can also do the same thing to this underside if you want to, not necessary. Okay, let's put it back on now that I've done the entire rooting on the topper. And I'll just take it and brush my bio hair to incorporate it, and I'm so happy. It turned out so good. Something to keep in mind, because this is not a permanent solution, it can rub off on clothing or hats. So just keep that in mind as you're choosing what you're going to rub up against your topper. Usually you don't have to worry so much about the clothing, but the hats, it will rub off on if you're wearing a hat over your topper all day. Oh, I think it looks so good. I actually really love this rooted look so much that I think I'm just gonna keep this as a permanent look for this topper. Yeah, I love it. I think it looks so much better. Much more natural, much easier to blend, and thankfully it's not a permanent solution, so if you don't love it, you can change it. You're going to be blending out your topper and you have a little bit of your bio hair that's sparse right there in front. I do like to use also Sure-Thick. I happen to like their products. This is not a sponsored video, but you can use a little bit of their hair building fibers right there at that transition, and this happens to be the same color, and it kind of helps ease that transition between your bio hair and the topper. If you have any questions, please comment below. I'm happy to answer them for you, and I will add the link to this. This is the Sure-Thick hairline powder is what I used, and this is in the color light brown, so that in case you're wondering what color I used, I do actually have a few more of their colors so you can see them for comparison. This is the platinum blonde, which you would use if you want to refresh your own highlights, and this is the dark blonde. So just so you can kind of see for comparison, those are different colors that I happen to have. They have more colors available, but these are just the ones that I have. And this is the light brown that I used on this topper. But again, if you have any questions, please comment below. I'm happy to answer them for you. And follow and subscribe for more wig and topper tips and content.